It's nice when you get a little surprise, isn't it? Yeah, so I woke up this morning, found out that What We Do in the Shadows has come back on. Season 4 of this fantastic series. So surprised, super. Has it really been a year since that last season? I think it began in September last year, actually, so not quite a year. But boy, tempus fugit, as the Romans would say. Time flies. But yeah, so let's have my thoughts about this latest episode. Okay, yeah, so welcome back to the channel, everyone. I've never reviewed What We Do in the Shadows before, even though I'm a huge fan of it. I have the Taika Waititi original movie, and I have seasons 1, 2, and 3 on Blu-ray, with season 4 to follow when inevitably it ends. Yes, so what can I say about this series? I'm in love with this series, I really am. This latest episode is called Reunited, and it picks up a little time after the events of the last season when everyone kind of split and went their separate ways. You had Nandor heading off, you had Naja heading off, Laszlo stayed home, Colin Robinson had died, and Guillermo was stuck in the box. Yeah, so this episode picks up, a little time later. The house they live in has gone into dilapidation, essentially. It hasn't been looked after by Nandor because Guillermo, Gizmo, would do everything in the house. I hate that name. I can never pronounce it. Guillermo. It's like when I say, Guillermo del Toro. And I'm going to call him Gizmo from now on because I can't pronounce. It just does my nut in, that name. Anyway, so the house is in ruins. Nandor's there with the young Colin Robinson, the young life that sprung from the corpse of Colin Robinson, and it's a little child but with the face of Colin Robinson, and it looks fantastic. It really does. When you look at a film that came out recently like Her, if you've seen that horror film, they've done a similar thing with that, where there's a young boy with the face of the main adult star. It looks awful, it really does, but here's a TV series and it's giving you it, and it looks really good, so thumbs up to them for that. So we get everyone returning in this. Nandor comes back from his travels. We find out that it's his fault that the Suez Canal got blocked by that big ship because he was on board it, being shipped back to his home country, and he killed everyone on board, and thus the ship got stuck. Laszlo has, like I said, been at the house, raising Colin Robinson, doing experiments on him and trying to make him grow up to be an interesting person rather than a boring person like the original Colin Robinson. Nadia returns from her travels with her little puppet, and all she and Laszlo want to do is have sex, and this leads to some very funny scenes. Because the house is in ruins, we come to find out that there's a gas leak and all this sort of stuff, and there's all these jokes about throwing a lit candle down into the basement where there is the gas leak and all this sort of stuff. The little kid running around with a lit candle on his head, being fed like a dog, and all this sort of thing. All very, very good. It's a very witty show, and quite difficult to review in a sense, in that it's all lost in translation. You know what I'm saying? The story is about them returning, coming to find out that they need money to get the house repaired, but Colin Robinson used to deal with all the finances within the house, but now he's dead. They can't get access to his money, so they come upon this plan, or Naja does, to opening a Blade style nightclub. Remember the beginning of Blade with all the sprinklers and blood? They want to go into that sort of a thing, and that's where the episode's left. But like I said, a lot of it's lost in translation because it is a comedy and it is humour, and the humour comes from these characters, and a lot of these characters just talking about mundane things, the sort of things that you wouldn't find humour within, like you've got Nandor watching, you've got Laszlo watching TV, watching a programme about people who go in and fix people's houses and all this, and he's talking about knocking down a retaining wall. He mentions it before they mention it. you know, the talk about knocking down a retaining wall is boring, but this is what the show relies on, these sort of mundane things, and these are vampires that get involved in all this and in these talks, and you know, and it's very good. It's just a very, very witty show based around this group of characters which are fantastic and play off of each other. If this is a show that you haven't been watching, you really should. It is really, really, it's cleverly written. It's all in the writing, it's all in the characters, and each of these actors play these roles fabulously. The character of Nandor and Laszlo, those are my two favourites within the series, easily by far. They've just created wonders with these characters. The actors have brought these characters to life, and it really is a rich, fulfilling show that if you've not watched, I suggest go and find it. It's a bit different to the film, but it does lead on from the film. It's set in the same universe. Sometimes you do get the characters from the film, although the setup's the same, with a group of vampires being followed by a camera crew. As the first film was, this is a different group of vampires being followed by a camera crew, but it's the same sort of a dynamic almost, and it's very good, very much worth a watch, and I love it, and I can't wait till next week, until that next episode. So this is AJ. Give me your thoughts on this series down below if you're watching it, if you enjoy it as much as what I do, because I think it's one of the best things on TV at the moment. I really do. Just fantastic. Anyway, AJ, I'll see you on the next one. Take care all, and goodbye.